Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and I'm here to make you a ton of coins on EAFC. So if you want 500k every day, you are in the right place. And if you want a free copy of EAFC, you're in the right place too. We've got 9 copies of EAFC, all FIFA points. All you've got to do is subscribe and send proof over on Instagram and you'll be entered into the giveaway. And of course, guys, if you want some coins in a quicker way, well, so if you guys are sick of losing in FIFA because your team isn't good enough or you're not good enough at the game, then right now you need to head over to skycoach.gg. Not only can they coach you in your weekend league or play your games for you, you can buy any amount of coins you want, and all of the services get 10% off right now with the code PRORECALL. Go check them out below. Make sure to click the link in the description and let's get into it. So today, guys, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to have a method for every single quality on EAFC. We're also going to show you all the little bits you can do every day to make yourself coins so you can have 500k every day like me. Now, if we go over to the store, first of all, one thing you got to do every day is your preview pack. Now, we can see here, my preview pack recently was useless, but I'm going to open it anyway, just to get rid of it so we can open the next one, and then we're going to talk about how you can break these preview packs down. Now, of course, every preview pack is not going to be profitable. You're going to have some that are really good and you're going to have some that are absolutely useless. This one here looks like it might be beneficial. It might even be an icon. I've been well and truly done there. But of course, what we can always have a look at is the breakdown of the pack. So we can have a look here, compare the price of these. So unfortunately, they're not really making the mark with those two. Obviously, about a K between those two chem styles. But if you have a shadow, a hunter, something like that, you'll be laughing. Now, we can also have a look at the players to see if any of these have a good value. I think between all of them, we could probably make about 3 or 4K back of this pack. Now, my rule is with preview pack, if I can make 5 or 6K back, I would open the pack because you've got a chance in the next one of getting something a little bit better. So it's always worth it. Now, the stadium section of your club, although pretty useless 90% of the time, may have something interesting inside there. If you've just been sending a lot of your packs to your club rather than quick selling them, you may have badges and things like that. So, for example, I've got a PSG badge here, and from the looks of it, there's none on the market. I can imagine there probably is, but we know that the PSG badge will go for some coins. We'll pop up the Milan one as well. Then when we go to the rest of them, I can just make myself a few K just by quick selling these. I can't imagine many of these badges have a good value, but we can definitely get a good bit of coinage off them. I know that United's probably got a little bit, similarly to Real Madrid, similarly to Inter. So you know which clubs are going to sell for a little bit or sell for something, and you know which ones are just going to be a quick sell. Now, moving over to the actual trading method, you're probably thinking, why am I on the SBC screen? Of course, Marquee Matchups releases every week and gives us the opportunity to potentially get some clubs that we can get filters out of. Now, this week, you've got England players here and Italy players, along with Netherlands players and France players. Now, of course, that's going to be a little bit different to the standard club. Now, of course, we can still make a method out of it, so it's worth having a look at what the sort of rare gold English players are going to be going for. So if we go over to the players section, we pop in rare gold and we'll go for English, Italy and French for those. So French is probably the one where you're going to have a decent bite out of it. So English doesn't look like there's a lot of movements on the rare golds there. You can still get pretty much any rare gold for the lower end of things. So if we go over to the gold commons, we might see that there's a little bit more. So let's have a look at the lowest commons we can get. Kind of looks like there's a bit of movement, not a lot. Let's have a look at France. Similar story. If you can get these for maybe their minimum, you'll be looking at a good filter, but it's nothing sort of big market moving. Now, I said I'm going to do something for every single quality, and we've done gold already, so now let's pop over and do silver rare. We're going to go over to the Premier League. We're going to go over to French, and we're going to go to the 1K mark. So we're going to see who comes up. You've got Sarr, you got Chukui, I apologise if I butchered the name. We've got Hamada there as well. Now, if we pop this down to 600 coins, you don't have any cards, which means actually for a silver method, this is reasonably good. So we can compare price of here, 600 and below is a snipe. So this one here, 450, absolutely lovely. So we've just got a compare price snipe. It's a win because it's way under what they were going for. I can list it at 650 and still make a good profit. We're looking at about 170 coins there. And now we can move on to the next quality. Now, silver team of the week, they are extinct because none of them exist. So unfortunately, we'll have to move over to the next one, which is gold team of the week. And luckily, we have a ton of methods for that. First of all, if you go over to the Premier League and pop in the team Brighton, of course, you've got a nice breakdown there of the off of just Lamptey and Matoma. Similarly, if we pop in defender, you've got the likes of Trippier, you're going to have the likes of Anderson, and you're going to have the likes of Romero. And of course, you've also got the likes of Lamptey again there. And if you pop in English, you're going to have the likes of Watkins, you're going to have the likes of Trippier. I think it is just those two, but there might be someone else in there as well. Trippier, Watkins, just the two of us. Absolutely lovely. And you've got Sterling as well, so there's a nice little combination. Of course, Sterling a little bit more expensive, but not worlds above the other two, and you can pop in forward to just have that Sterling and Watkins filter. And if you like this shirt or any of the other football shirts I've been wearing recently, go check out Best Football Kits in the description and get 12% off with my code. Now, heroes, you've got an absolute flurry of hero filters that you could be doing. Some of them are going to be a ton of coins, some of them are going to be not so much. On the absolute lower end of filters for heroes, you're looking at about 40,000 coins, and that is pretty mud. I mean, 29 even from the sounds of things. If we go down to the sort of 27 mark, you can see that you've got Rickon absolutely sort of on the mud, but you really want to probably go for a little bit higher than that. So the leagues you probably want to go for, Syria has a base that's a little bit higher. You're probably looking at about 50k, 60k for a Milito. We pop over here, 65 there, as you can see. So we've got Milito coming up at the bottom end of things, and there's a couple other players. If we take off the price cap, you can see there should be a few others. So we've got Roy Costa around that price. We've got Vialli, who's a little bit more, but not far off. And you've got Schneider miles away. Brolin is coming down, and so hopefully we can make a Brolin Schneider vibe filter very soon. But for the bottom end, we're looking at about 60,000 coins. So if we have a look at the cheapest Militos, it looks like they're about 50. So if we pop this on at 50k, just see how much they're going for, maybe 52 there. So it looks like 52, 53, we could probably sell them on for. So EA tax, we work out it's 5%. I always do 10% and then half it. So 5.3k, half of that, you're looking at about 2.6 or 2.7k. So if we actually take this down to 49, we're looking at about a 1.2 or 1.3k profit, which to me sounds pretty good. So we can snipe away at this one and make a decent amount. Now, of course, if you want to do compare price again, that is available as well. All we have to do is pop on to about 52, or 53, and then compare price from there. Now, bear in mind, when you are at these higher prices, compare price is a little bit more difficult. With the silver methods, it was easier. I mean, that would have been an absolutely lovely snipe, so I'm a little bit gutted that we missed that one. Now, of course, next we can move on to icon, and depending on where you want to go in terms of cost, a lower end one is definitely goalkeeper, because all the icon goalkeepers are pretty cheap. You've got Schmeichel, Casillas, Czech, and you've got, surely there's someone else there. We've got Yashin, we've got Van der Sar. Van der Sar a little bit more expensive, but if we go to, I think, 100k, we should have a few of these coming very close. Okay, so maybe they're a little bit more expensive than I thought previously. Actually, it looks like they've got quite a good value. So 205 for the cheapest check. Realistically, EA tax 5%, so that's going to be 10k. So realistically, we want to pick up one at about 190. We'd sell it on for about 210, and we're making about 8 or 9k profit off of that. You can see there's a 213 there, and there's a 205. So on this one, I'd actually say compare price is the route you want to go down, because with this way you can actually find a couple other cards. If, for example, I mean, we're sniping right now at what, 230, and we've only got these two on the market there. If we pop in a max price, is there, let's just check, is there anything else coming up? Is it just the two of them? Brilliant. So what this means is we could find any of the other keepers who are listed up, maybe 220, 230. It also means if a check comes up at 190, we're also going to find that. Whereas if we were just sniping at 190, we wouldn't get any of those other keepers who go up for a little bit more. Now, of course, it's going to take a little while to snipe an icon. You've got to spend more time on it, and we've only got a short time for the video. Now, when we head over to Nike Mad Ready, what we can do is introduce the Playstyles Plus. Now, the reason we're going to do this is because it removes the likes of course, Fernandez, who's pretty much the only cheap one of the bunch. Now, when we look at this, we've obviously got centre back here, we've got striker, we've got a left mid, and then, of course, we've got Putellas in centre mid. So there isn't really any way that we can put all of these players together on a filter. However, Chiesa and Kerr are the closest in pricing out of the bunch. So if we go to about 160, I believe we can find ourselves some Kerrs as well as some Chiesas. Now, there is still a big jump between them. It's not incredibly close, but I said I was going to get you every quality, and these are part of it. So we're going to knock down to about, from the looks of things, 48,000 coins. Is that right? 47 there. So realistically, EA tax on this one, it's going to be about 2.5k. We'll work it out as if it's 50k there. So we're going to go down to about here. There's still a card there. So realistically, I'd say pick him up at 43 as it stands. Obviously, you always want to check the value of the cards before you start buying them. But 43k here, Playstyles Plus only. It is a very good filter. However, it is one you've got to be careful with, because these cards are going to go up and down a lot. They're not necessarily valuable. They don't technically have any more value than the base card. I bought Virgil van Dijk's one, and it is absolutely shot down. So these cards will have big movements, and we've missed a big snipe as well. Now, when we head over to the UCL Road to the Knockouts, you have a ton of cards. Obviously, on the lower end, you've got players like Pedro, Mercado, you've got Bonucci. We've even got the likes of Dest in there as well. But if you want to break this filter down a little bit more, we can pop on Playstyles Plus again, and we've got Di Maria and Modric. Now, I do believe this Modric card is going to shoot down because he's one of the most sort of packable cards in the game. Similarly, we've got Di Maria, who I paid, I think, 60k for a few days ago. He's obviously shot down as well. So we should be able to snipe these guys for, what, 55, 50k maybe, from the looks of things. So I'm praying that both of them go up in rating just so I can get a little bit of value back out of them. But as it stands, they're going to work on a filter. So 46.5 there, it looks like is where he's kind of at, 47 really. So EA tax again, bringing us down by 2.5k. And then we go down by 1.5 for that profit. So 43 again. If we get Modric, we're absolutely laughing. And of course, Di Maria is the main man of this filter. Now, of course, we haven't gone through every filter yet, but the video is getting pretty lengthy and I don't like to have my videos too long. So we're going to continue this in another video over the next few days, probably the next 0 to 500. And we'll be looking at the road to the knockouts, of course, the road to the knockouts and the road to the knockouts. And of course, there are some other cards that we can touch on as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed and I'll see you tomorrow.